We've seen similar rejections here before. And additionally, this often marks the end of sort of our counter rally in the market. You can see that the counter rally really pushed off quite heavily from this breakout here. And this is, of course, our volatile trading range. We got a nice hourly uptrend off of the 20 period, the line in green. We saw some stall and then our double top as the market was able to hold the 200 period on some of the more downside pullbacks. And then, of course, the breach and the back test. So market does appear to be responding to this particular moving average quite well. And given that the daily is not offering us a lot of clarity, I'm not going to say the 20 or the 50 on the daily has any importance, simply because we're not in a trend. We can look to the shorter time frame moving averages for a bit of an earlier signal, and then obviously use our sort of technical skills to understand that as the market is starting to either climb or fall, we do need to break one of these levels as we're getting tighter and tighter in this pennant. Now, short term, we do have our pre-market starting to bid higher. We're obviously coming back into maybe a test of this upper area. And what's going to potentially facilitate some of this move is a stock that is likely to be in play over the next couple of days, and that is Nvidia. Now, Nvidia did report earnings yesterday. A lot of people would agree that the earnings were fairly positive. Nvidia did beat a lot of estimates and had a lot of decent forward guidance amid some of the headwinds of this current economic climate. But as you can see, that's not going to necessarily move the stock. Nvidia is actually trading pretty close to its previous day close at about 265. And the earnings reaction has provided us with a conservative trading range for us to interpret over the next 2 days. This trading range is dictated by this large earnings reaction candle. And this particular top and bottom side range is marked off at 251 to about 276. So we do have this area of interest for potentially looking for long and short opportunities. Obviously, range-bound trading, you want to be buying closer to support, selling closer to resistance. And additionally, along with all that information, we do have Nvidia with our expected move inside of the Friday option series. So we do this every single time we look at earnings. We look at what the option market is pricing, and we have to understand that regardless of what time this particular company reports, the expected move is based on Friday expiration pricing. So a stock reporting earnings on Tuesday versus a stock reporting on Thursday, this price is relative to the Friday series close. And that's usually where a lot of the speculative price action and ultimately the expectation of movement for earnings is going to be priced in. And it's where you often see the highest implied volatility leading up into earnings. And then, of course, after earnings, this often will collapse and fall back to normal readings. For now, however, this particular stock pricing in about a $25 expected move for Friday. And what this does is it allows us to set some upper and lower targets for movement for the rest of the week. Remember that Nvidia, even though it didn't necessarily move $25 for earnings, at least from yesterday's close, may still have the potential to either grind up or down towards these levels. And while we have our earnings candle high and low, 276 and 251, our earnings expected move in our Friday expiration series movement is going to be priced at about 240. This is 265 minus 25, and then about 290, which is 265 plus 25. That gets us our sort of straddle at the money pricing and our expected move for the week. So if the market is to potentially have some clarity from a directional sense. It might be on the back of a stock like Nvidia. Nvidia, once again, is a market mover at this point in time. We're looking at a particular company that holds about 660 billion market cap for the S&P, and it is, once again, a stock that is representative of a large component of the S&P weighting. So as we type in SPY and look at fundamentals, we see Nvidia's set up as number 7 in the fund's top holdings and has surpassed companies like Berkshire and Meta. So definitely a key player, similar in market cap weighting to a Tesla. And if the stock is in play, earnings being the reason for it potentially to be in play, then this stock can easily move the S&Ps and cause that scale to shift, with the understanding that we're simply caught between a lot of congestion and a lot of chop over the past couple days. You know, the balance of the market is starting to stabilize here. The next move needs to be dictated by conviction. So overall, some other ideas for the rest of the week. The S&Ps have still not tested their top or bottom side expected move for the week. Same concept here. This is a Friday expected move that was priced last Friday's close. And we're still looking at about $135 expected move for the week starting on Monday. So if the market does attempt to rally, could we see a move up to 45.50 and down to 42.80s? This will be dictated by which direction stocks like Nvidia choose to go. As always, just keeping an eye on market cap movers. Apple, bit mid-range, pretty hard to tell any sort of directional bias at this point, but definitely one of our strongest overall stocks, holding up quite well amidst the volatility. Microsoft, a little bit more to the downside, holding near 300, might be a bit sort of stalled out or pinned at 300 for the rest of the week. Continuing to watch our weaker names, Meta, which continues to make fresh lows. But if you notice that some of the closure is still holding on to this approximate 216 level, this was set by this sort of indecision or pivot candle back over about a week ago. And this particular level seems to be a draw for this stock. We can look at maybe the past 30 days and see that while this particular name is making fresh lows, we haven't really seen the sort of bearish momentum quite yet to push it much lower. So if this stock can stabilize, it doesn't necessarily hurt the S&P, but it more than likely will not be the one moving it to the upside. It's simply in a weakened position ever since its earnings. And then, of course, bringing up our consumer discretionaries with Tesla and Amazon. Tesla a bit mid-range, once again, this larger bearish channel being the key set of indicators for stock movement. We've seen lows and highs react quite strongly on this particular name. And while we are mid-range, there's a clear resistance forming at about 945 to 950. If we can get a breach of this area, this will provide the fuel to get to the top side of the channel and essentially finish the move that was started back in January 28th. And stocks like Google giving back lots of their earnings gap up, actually coming lower than where the earnings started from. This is counter what we were expecting to see, sort of a reaction off of this area. We're actually trading below. So some relative weakness here over the past 2 weeks in Google, certainly providing some weakness in the overall market. And Amazon, so far holding up quite well past its earnings, trading within a clear range, high to low from earnings gap up. So Once again, just bringing the idea of perspective into this market. There's a lot of concern with rising fuel and gas prices related to things like crude. You'll note that we often track //CL, which is our light sweet crude. This is going to be the WTI standard. So this is West Texas. And this is considered both a light and a sweet crude variant. Very easy to refine and very applicable to things like gasoline prices, which are also very heavily on the rise. Obviously, if you've gone to fill up your tank recently, depending on where you're located, this is going to affect that underlying cost of what it takes to fuel up. But also Brent crude, which I think a lot of news sources are reporting that this did hit $100 per barrel. This particular futures contract not really showing that, but this is a very correlated asset to what we normally review with /CL. So this is the Brent standard. And of course, once again, another light and sweet crude variant, very notable benchmark. About 2/3 of all oil comes from this benchmark. So lots of concern with this rising price. People are starting to wonder if this is going to continue, or are we starting to hit that notable inflection point. Last week, we talked about the idea of maybe being short-term profit taking or maybe a bit bearish on energy stocks. They have pulled back, but once again, pulling back to our 20, holding the overall daily uptrend at this point. Haven't quite made the new swing high or the expansion yet. We want to be on the lookout if that's about to come, or are we starting to see divergence in this particular name, one of our strongest overall sectors. What that divergence might look like is something like oversold and overbought readings, in this case overbought. You'll want to see things like MACD starting to roll if you're using indicators such as these. You'll want to see divergence in the RSI, where your particular item of interest is making higher highs, but the RSI is making lower highs, showing just very straightforward divergence. And then usually a trigger is when you start to break through a previous swing low after divergence has formed. This is indicative that the momentum is starting to wane. And as you can see, as I've just scrolled down, stochastics are starting to roll. And while this isn't necessarily a trigger signal, if a momentum move is coming from a compression event, for this particular case, I'm using the TTM squeeze. If you have strong momentum and this momentum is starting to wane, if you can find other divergences, this gives you a little bit of additional confirmation. Once again, every different technical analyst will have different indicators. They'll have different signals for this. And obviously understanding the macro pressures on this sector and on this asset class is important. But if you're looking for inflection points, start to be looking at key levels. $100 a barrel sounds like a good level to me. You're looking for technical sort of resistance zones where the market tends to stall out, and obviously waiting to see if we can lose trend. This is going to be that entry point, and obviously prepping for that early allows you to either position early or just prepare your thesis ahead of time. We'll see how this plays out over the next couple of days. So crude does appear to be not necessarily topping, but starting to hit a potential inflection. And we'll see how this affects the markets moving forward. We continue to watch our 10-year interest rate climbing. As always, just noting that our longer-term Treasury bonds are starting to also rise, but they're also starting to flatten out a bit more. We'll talk about that more probably next week. Continue to push this topic out, but it is an important one to cover. We have gold, which is now in focus. A lot of people are starting to call for another gold bull run, as we are seeing this asset climb in a fairly stagnant dollar environment. So our dollar has not broken down heavily. We're actually somewhat mid-range in the dollar index, and yet gold is starting to lead. This might be a bit of an early signal that gold is advertising that the dollar may start to weaken moving forward. Usually one of them breaks first, and whoever has more conviction tends to be the leader. Typically gold will lead in these environments. So a bit of a possible retracement breakout occurring here. Volume hasn't really been accelerating quite yet, but we are looking at weekly breakouts at this point. We're starting to clear weekly pivot areas of the market. And gold certainly has a chance to continue climbing over the next couple of weeks if we can start to catch up with our trend line. You'll definitely want to be looking at this on a longer time frame basis. You're going to get a lot of noise on the daily chart, so you want to clear up some of that noise if you are tracking the gold from a technical perspective. If you're tracking gold products from a technical perspective, you want to clear this up on the weekly. So same idea with silver. One thing that might offer some clarity as to whether gold has a good chance to continue is ideally I'd like to see a breakout in silver occurring in line with gold momentum. We haven't quite seen that yet. We're simply holding mid-range, and the 200-day simple moving average has been resistance time and again. It's been the absolute high for some of these swings. A clearer breakout here would be indicative that particular metals are starting to lead and have some chance for bullish momentum. Okay, so it is Thursday. So as always, I'll allow for some tickers or some questions. I see that YouTube had volume issues, so I apologize for not spotting that ahead of time. Let's see, how long was that ongoing? Yeah, hopefully we didn't miss too much there. So let's start off with the main chat. We'll look at a couple of tickers. So someone's calling out Viacom for some information. Looks like they had earnings yesterday and are getting a bit of a counter rally against their earnings. Viacom has support here off of this swing low. So far we've held this particular area. Wasn't the cleanest support test, but it did hold. So Paul, probably just looking to play the earnings reaction here. I'd probably target 30 for this counter rally. I'm not sure how much more room is left on that move. But ultimately, this is where the stock sold off from in yesterday's session. So we're looking at almost a full recovery here, probably a pullback at around 30. And then if it does want to continue, we'll need to see some bullish conviction because we are getting into our secondary resistance here. Let's see, Upstart. So we talked about Upstart this morning. Upstart had earnings yesterday. It was a bullish candidate due to the size of the move to the upside. The fact that we broke two previous swing highs. That's going to be seen on the daily here. You broke this one, you broke this one, you got out of this compression range. You're basically looking at a weekly breakout overall. You're also breaking out of this swing high, which caused a new swing low. This was a downtrend. This right here was compression. You know, a lack of directionality as the stock was stalling from our Monday low, this January 24th. So Upstart broke bullish. It moved all the way up to 150 on yesterday's session. This was the earnings high. And this is a good example of why having this spike high mattered yesterday. Same idea for Nvidia. If Nvidia catches a bid today, just watching what it's doing at these swing highs. But it stalled, it faded, another $10 fade here for Upstart, and then we broke out again this morning. To me, it's in a very clear uptrend, has more potential to hit this resistance before turning around. And here I'd try and play it to about 160, 162, whatever these swing highs are. So any other materials plays? I don't have any offhand. I'd start looking around to see which ones are postured well. And remember that materials and metals are not the same thing. When I say metals and I'm talking gold, there's going to be other metal type plays, and one index to look at, or sorry, one sector ETF is XME. So right now, XME is not only breaking out from a multi-month consolidation, but it's also clearing a very important area of the chart. It's getting above this swing high. So as you draw this out further in time, you can see how clear of a breakout this is, how much conviction this could have. And if we're thinking about maybe just drawing a bull flag here, we could be talking about something like this size of the move, which pulled back to 38.6. This is indicative of a bull flag. We flip it around, mark this high and low. If this is a breakout, there's upside here. If this truly wants to extend the bull flag, the size of the move or 161 to expand. So this move is looking very powerful on higher time frames, but it's on the metals. It's not necessarily on materials. XLB is going to be more your materials ETF. This is not necessarily bullish yet. It might catch a little bit of momentum here. It is more of an inflationary play, and there was some buying yesterday, but it's not the same position. It's just different. So be sure to clarify which one you're actually looking for. PLTR earnings, Julian, swing in what direction? You're asking for a swing thesis. The stock just broke down on earnings. It's in line with its earnings expected move, $2. We closed at 14. We went down to 12. That's $2. So PLTR to me is within its earnings range for now. Intraday, watch 12, probably watch 14. 13's our midpoint. This is probably going to be where, the bounces are going to stall out. You'll notice how 12 bounced up to actually 1350. That's not bad. That was a good bounce there. But, we're holding kind of weak right now. This one could easily just kind of fade lower, maybe not really be in play today until we get some volume. But, for me, this looks like a bear flag. We did break the resistance point of the bear flag. This can force lower prices, and at the very least, let's retest the bear flag low, which is pretty much every stock bottomed on January 24th. There's no real difference to the bottoms on a lot of stocks. So let's see. There's some ticker name changes for Viacom. I wasn't aware of that. So some clarity on the Viacom analysis. Okay. Let's see what else we got. We got PLTR, which we covered. We got QS, which has a report. I'm not aware of the news on this stock, but I will look at the technicals. So we're breaking down here. We're back down to it's either going to be January 24th or 28th. A lot of stocks bottomed on one of those days. So this is our absolute low recent history. What's our monthly look like? We're pretty much scraping the bottom of where the stock opened. Yeah, I mean, it might be in play today. It's got earnings too. So what's the expected move? $2. So we closed at 17. We went down to 15. Remember, when I'm looking at earnings, I don't really care what the stock said about its earnings. I care what the option market priced, because that's going to matter for intraday. The stock moved in line. It said $2, it moved $2. So QS to me is like PLTR. It's not really as in play because it hasn't really broken out of its expected move. You can play these levels, which you just mark the low and sort of the high, but everything in between is going to be challenging because there's no real edge for earnings. Everything's kind of within expectation. So Roku, let's see. I know you've asked for this one a few times. So Roku's coming up with its earnings. So today and right now we have a $25 expected move. Look at how high this IV is. This is really high, even for Roku. See if this starts to get even worse today, like more implied volatility. And wait, is this? Yeah, this is this afternoon. So right now it's pricing in $25. So not really seeing a lot to play off of right now. It's above the 20, which is kind of nice. You know, if you are going to turn a stock around, this is a good first thing to do, get above the 20. If you get a rally in Roku today, it would be nice to break this 2-day engulfing structure right here. If you can get above this area, Roku could catch a bid into earnings, and then you want to maybe play it towards your swing high. So 175 to 178. If not, and it just breaks down from here, I don't see a lot of edge for like levels. And the earnings speculation might sort of stall out the price. Usually you see a run up into earnings. A lot of stocks will try and maybe bid higher into earnings. But obviously the market has to be a bit bullish for that. So on the stock. So I don't know. I don't see much on the chart. It's just above the 20. That's the only thing I really see. And with earnings coming up, you might want to wait until tomorrow to play it. If you're trying to play the earnings, this is a pretty high IV. I'm more a fan of selling this than buying this. So, all right. And I think I just about ran out of time there. So, with that said, my name is Jared. This is Engineering the Markets. Thanks all. Have a happy Thursday. Trade safe tomorrow and today. We'll see y'all next week, and stay tuned for pre-market prep where we'll cover some of these tickers a bit more. So as always, see y'all then.
All right. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the pre-market prep. I hope everyone's having an amazing morning. Hope you guys had a great day yesterday. Good morning, Norm. How you doing today?
Hey, good morning. I'm doing great, brother. Before we forget, if you guys would give a big thumbs up for on YouTube for Jared, he gets up early every morning to do that for you. So
Yeah. Yes,
thank
he
you very
does,
much.
man.
It helps us out a lot. No, I'm doing well. How are you?
Doing good, man. Doing good. Over in the chat, we're trying something a different setting here for our situation with the screen sharing. So let us know how that works out. Hopefully,
No?
the delay fixes, but we'll have to see. We got to give it a little bit.
Yeah, we got
Um,
to give it some time.
yeah, because what the issue we had, it builds up over a couple of minutes. So, guys, let's get into it. Let's look at our watch list from
There's an echo
yesterday.
on my mic, I'm being told. I think I'm hearing something. That's Carlos. There's an echo coming from Carlos.
Is it on my end? Okay, hold on
Yeah,
a second. Let
there's
me.
something. It's like you got speakers going with me on them or something.
Okay, hold on. All right, just reset it everything. Is that
Test.
better?
Let's see. Yeah, gone.
Good. All right, perfect. All right, guys, let's get to it. Starting with Roblox yesterday, very active. Even today, today's looking actually pretty decent. Let's take a look here on our 5 minute for Roblox. We're looking at 8 a.m. So extremely active pre-market activity, guys. I wish I would have taken a shot at this one. It did trade very well. Definitely in play yesterday, dropping from 62 here all the way down to 53. Again, just
Can you blow it up to
incredible.
put it on the whole screen when you go through yesterday's like you usually
Oh,
do?
yeah. Sorry about that. There we go.
There we go.
So here it is, guys. Just an incredible move on Roblox. Definitely in play. This is clearly a fallen angel. Not a rising devil. Rising devil is what Brian calls it right here. Look at this squeeze. Cannot hold and then drops right back down to the low of the candle and then some. So again, beautiful stuff on Roblox starting early in the pre-market. TTD, guys, also great stuff in the pre-market. They bounced very well. Typically a stock that we do not look at, but this turned out to be decent opportunities there on TTD and a nice reversal as well, which we actually took advantage of later parts of the morning. Here is Snap. I didn't really pay too much attention to Snap. It did get going as news broke out in the pre-market about the continuation of asking not to track on these Apple devices, and I'm not sure if there's other ones coming out as well with some that type of situation, but
Well, that the
it
Apple
won't
news is
surprise me.
old. Yesterday
Yeah.
it came out that Android is going to limit cross app
hmm
tracking, so that's what hit them. Yeah.
Yeah. So it does not surprise me that other companies are going to follow suit to try to protect consumers, right? Privacy and stuff like that. So that's not good for them, and you can see how that reacted. But for the most part, choppy the entire day. It looks like besides this one move in the pre-market, one move at the open, and then didn't do that much. And then Nvidia, guys, how clean was Nvidia? I did not trade this one, but man, this was real clean. Pre-market action, very nice. Continuation in after the bell as well. Beautiful drop here. 5 minute open range breakdown was nice. Got a nice continuation and then a beautiful bounce as well. Gets toppy, comes right back down to the lows. I mean, you
Got the
had
dubs.
everything. You had
Yeah.
everything on this one, man. So hopefully you took advantage of that one. And then space, real choppy at the market open, guys. Didn't do a whole lot. I took a shot at this one pre-market and then and it just broke down after that. But again, not really the best trading stock yesterday. So that was our list. Let's take a look at what we have today quickly. We have a couple in the green and many in the red. Couple of names in here that we have not seen yet or in some time. So we'll review those in just a second there. See what kind of action we're going to get today. I know for sure we're going to have some of our favorites, right? We're going to have Nvidia, we're going to have Apple, and so forth. We'll see what else we can dig up. Norm, what's the latest and greatest today?
Yes, sir. We just had initial jobless claims come out and continuing claims. Initial claims were 249 off the top of my head. I lost it where I wrote it down, but it was somewhere around there versus 219. So a little bit worse than expected. Continuing claims a little bit lower than expected. Um, Building permits, housing starts were good. Philly Fed manufacturing was a little bit lighter than expected. And then St. Louis Fed president speaks at 11 a.m. this morning. Thank you, 248,000 versus the estimate of 218. So not a huge deviation. Haven't really seen a whole lot change in the market with that. So I think the bigger macro stuff is war on or off today, Carlos? Do we know?
Let me hold on.
Amen.
Let me flip my coin. Let me flip my
Yeah.
coin. I'll tell you right now.
On for now. That could
Yeah,
change by the end of the pre-market show, but for now, war is on. Definitely.
If you were hearing any type of news yesterday, my local channels, it was like it's like the end of the world. I'm telling you, it's so funny how things work out sometimes, or how they plan. I don't know, whatever. We'll see
You
it
would
by
think
the
an invasion of New York City was imminent.
exactly right. Like I'm ready to start a
So
bunker in my basement. So it's just
now it's off.
insane.
That'll change
All right.
it.
All right, excellent, guys. Let's get to it. Look at our watch list this morning. We'll clean our stuff from last night. And here we go. Control A, Control X, and we will make some room here. Starting with Dash. You know what? I forgot to link my trade ideas. This is something we have to do every morning, unfortunately. Wish it will stay, but it does not. But it does save us a lot of time. So we'll go ahead and come here at link, and then we'll put that
But it's nice
right
that
over
these
here.
the people come in, the new people haven't dealt with that before. If they have trade ideas and want to link it, they learn how to do it.
Yeah,
We give them a little
absolutely.
tutorial every few mornings.
Absolutely. Just remind you in case you forgot. All right, guys, let's take a look at Dash today. Dash right now, wow, nice pop on Dash, up 21.7 at the moment, 179,000 shares traded. Typically, the stock is very light on volume, but today, nice pop. Earnings on this? Yes.
Yeah, they had earnings last night. They had some pretty good numbers. They're getting rewarded for it greatly in the pre-market. Not the greatest trader of all time, though, so we'll see.
Yeah. That's just going to earn him a spot on the possibles list. I mean, we've seen some of these really bad tickers actually do okay on earnings. So let's give it a shot here, see what it does there. We'll put that on our secondary list. Expedia? No, Expeditors. This is different. No, nothing fun happening here. This is definitely a no. It's just no. Block trade, no good. UPST, tons of action this morning on UPST and yesterday. I like the pop they had yesterday. I had them on my secondary list. Didn't really look at them, but they definitely got moving nicely, looks like. And they're holding that today and putting in a little bit of a continuation right now. So up 5.1, 636,000. Again, I am personally not a fan of the spread. So just be careful. If you are going to be trading this, be careful on the spread and the number size, the shares you take on that. AU today. AU, no, not looking great. We'll skip on that. EQ and R. We've seen this before. It's a horrible trading ticker here, so we'll skip on that. Becky has worse days than not, than better, than good, so not good there. Cisco, all right, we got some movement on Cisco. We are up 2.5. Pre-market can be better. I don't think you're going to get a crazy pre-market activity on Cisco. And it trades. This falls right into that QCOM. What's the other one we had? We had QCOM, we had Cisco. That they can get going in earnings, or they had earnings, right? I'm just assuming they did. Yeah, they did, because that's the only time they actually hit our gappers list. And I don't have high hopes for that one. Let's see what's gapping down, guys. Let's see what we can pick off here. AMPL this morning down 41%. Somebody is getting fired here. This is not good for them. 330,000 shares trade. It's a big drop this morning, but not great though. Very light volume here.
They had their They had their losings last night.
I like that. They're losing last night, guys. So again, not looking great for intraday stuff here. Maybe if it starts closing the gap, I don't know, but we're gonna find something better. FSLY, good pre-market activity, 1.3 million. Also gap down pretty big, guys. What's that, 30%? This looks good though. I like the activity this morning. Also on the losings last night. Might be worth watching.
I can't get over this. This is the stock where who was it? Mark Minervini or whatever. He was on CNBC, and they asked him, and he was talking about the stock. He goes, "Do you know what they do?"
Oh my god!
And
yes.
it's my cutout.
He's like my internet's getting choppy.
I can't hear you. Yeah, that was.
But yet the video, guys, for those that have not seen that clip, the video is crystal clear. And usually when you have it, if you work in any type of tech, you have any issues with connection, the video goes first, the audio stays for a little bit longer. This guy's video is like 4K, right? I mean, come on. Oh man. I'm going to add this one, guys. This could be good. And maybe not a main one. We'll keep it here for now because I like the volume. I like the drop today. They do have a catalyst of,
I was
messing up.
Upstart. I'm sorry. I mix
Oh, is
up
that
Upstart and Fastly.
same situation? You get the idea either way. But yeah, we'll put this one on here, guys. We'll see where it goes. It has a decent pre-market so far. MMTR, we saw this a couple of days ago, I believe. Wasn't doing anything great this morning. You got some volume here, but man, this pre-market action does not look fun with this 1.1. So I'm gonna skip on this one. Daily looks also pretty crappy. Let's move on down to ATUS. Not getting any better, down 13%, 403,000. Again, a lot of these companies, ATUS's earnings, MTTR also earnings last night, FSLY earnings as well after hours, right? It's the 16.
Yeah.
So a lot of these stuff just coming up with earnings, but they're not looking great. PLTR, pre-market earnings. All right, now we're talking here. This is something that might be on our list, that should be on our list today. PLTR, we know, can trade very well. They can get the volume. They're not trade very well. They had good days in the past that we've taken advantage of, right? That's the best way to put it. But they can be a very difficult and horrible stock to trade, very choppy. I want to expect that today with earnings and the volume they're getting, we can get something out of this. So PLTR on the list today. I know some of you guys in the chat room like that one because you called it out quite a bit. Today's definitely a day to be on the lookout on that one. TOST, no good, guys. Horrible pre-market, horrible daily. Moving on down to Yandex, YNDX, down 6.1. No pre-market. The earnings was a few days ago on the 15th. So I'm not seeing anything here that I like. Also, again, this is a foreign company ticker as well. Don't like that.
It's Russian. You don't want to trade Russian stuff right now?
Nah,
I know I think they're technically based in the Netherlands, but it's a
it is actually
it's a Russian.
company?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, probably don't want to be
Their
involved
primary
in that.
market is Russian.
Yeah, probably don't want to be involved with that. That can be good or positive for them. I don't know. Joe Buy, no, we've seen this before. It doesn't trade very well. And then we got a couple of, just one Bitcoin here, Mara. And I've been keeping Mara off my list. I've been staying away from the Bitcoin stocks lately. So I'm going to do the same today. No need to put that on there. Space was a good drop yesterday. This morning, after a nice pop on 2 days ago, this morning they're down 2.8. I think the fun might be over on this, man. We come back down to this area where we haven't done anything. We had a good time here. A little sell-off yesterday. We took advantage of that. Some of us did. And I just think the fun might be over on this thing here, unless we get some more news of actual sales. We opened up booking. What are the sales looking like, right? All right, here it goes. Nvidia, definitely on our list. Already doing some stuff. 1.5 million. Nvidia reported last night, and not
pretty good story. I'm surprised they're down as much as they are. I know they've had an upgrade in price target from one I've seen. I'm sure there's probably more. I've just missed them that have come in one way or the other. I know that there was one Summit Insights Group downgrades Nvidia to hold now. I don't know about you, but I put all my faith in Summit Insights Group. I don't know. We'll see. The one thing about Nvidia, that's tough, especially in the morning. Kramer loves this stock, at least for now. He talks about it all the time. So if you're in a trade and he says something, it gets movement that's kind of artificial. I'm not saying it's positive or negative or anything like that.
Right.
He's notorious at this hour talking about stuff. So we'll see.
We'll see where it goes here, guys. And
Brian L. Random BBT member downgrades NVIDIA.
It's been good to us, man. Nvidia has been real good to us intraday trading wise. We'll see where it goes. They got volume today, 1.5, and interesting to see how they end the day. Here. So that's it. That's our gap up, gap down. Let's take a look at what we have going on here in our chat. But Norm, before we do that, do you have anything you like on your end?
I'm still looking, man. I mean, I like NVIDIA. I think we've got some pretty decent stuff on this list if you just get rid of the trash. But I'm going to keep looking. Still early.
Yep, absolutely. All right, let's take it to the room, guys. See what we have going on here. NVIDIA's on deck. Dave from Connecticut looking at Walmart active earnings. Trace a little funky. Yes, Walmart.
The one thing. Yeah, the one thing you'll see about Walmart that I noticed, and I can't remember the last time I traded Walmart. I have, but I've noticed the spread at times is really nasty on this.
Yeah.
It's not right now. It's 6 cents, which isn't bad for a $135 stock, but I've seen it creep up to 70, 80 cents or so. So that freaks me out a little bit. It would have to have really great order flow to interest me, but could be something.
Which sometimes, and most times, it does not have, right? So you just be careful. Today they got some good action though. They don't trade a whole lot, guys. Usually around 10 million looks like per day, but they have almost 1 million, which is heavy volume for them in the pre-market. We'll put them as a pause for now and see where that goes. Just again, be careful. Look at that spread. Make sure you double check things before you get in that trade. Also, what you can do to kind of protect yourself a little bit is put limit orders, right? Kind of make sure you set where you want to get in and not get surprised with a market order and get a horrible fill there. You might not get the price you want, but that's the way to protect yourself a little bit. PLTR we do have on deck already, guys. Looking all right good.
So I now somebody asked what why SPY is dropping, and apparently rumor is just came over Benzinga Squawk that Russia has expelled the U.S. ambassador from their country. So war's on.
Right, just add to the drama, man. You don't need to watch soap operas anymore. Just look at the news and you can be fully entertained, my friends. We'll see where it goes. Okay. What else, guys? What else we have? PLTR we have. Nvidia we have. That's good. Walmart is on deck. MRNIN. What's going on with this one? I haven't seen this one in some time. MRIN. Yeah, so they got up 22%. I still don't think this stock is great.
They announced a TikTok integration last night.
Nice. I'm gonna stay away from this, man. This just spells disaster. Any way you slice it and dice it, I have no hopes of this stock myself to intraday trade it correctly or properly. You got 4 million shares, but this is a big no the way this thing is set up. The way it's been trading in the past as well, no volume, and now you're getting some kind of catalyst that who knows, what's gonna do. Yeah, I'm staying away from that one. All right, Roblox. Yes, Roblox has been very, very active pre-market as well, right? We have 1.3 million, up 1%. Yeah, I think we can add Roblox to our list. I think this can be decent this morning. Let's look at the stuff we usually look at. Let's look at Apple. Apple getting a little bit of a drop here because of the SPY, obviously. But outside of that, nothing explosive. We have Nvidia already. AMD yesterday taking a drop when everything else was pretty much flat. Today I don't see anything great on it neither, so I'll keep it off the list for now. I know people will be watching; they'll call something out. We looked at AMPL earlier, so AMPL. This thing had a huge drop here. Man, the volume on this less than 2 million shares on any given day. 350.
Actually, the average volume is right at 1 million.
Well, it's right at 1 million. Yeah. I mean, can they start closing this gap and do well? Maybe. I mean, let's see. I don't trust it, man. I think this is one of those stocks that's just gonna go sideways at the market open. You're not gonna get a whole lot of movement. Let's see. What type of company is it, by the way? AMPL.
Well, I was just about to say that. I mean, I reading the description of them, I want to see them go to zero. Amplitude Inc. provides a digital optimization system to analyze customer behavior within digital products. Sounds very very SPY-like.
Yeah, SPY-ish situation. Yeah, not a fan of what these guys are doing.
Orwellian. Yeah.
Yeah. So what else, guys? Tesla, Viacom. Let's see what's going on there. Tesla this morning, pretty quiet, 200,000. Yeah, nothing to see at all. Viacom, they have some movement here. I think they dropped huge last night. Yeah. Yesterday. And they're changing their name or doing a couple of things Brian was mentioning, but I don't like the way this thing trades at all, guys. It's funky. And there's nothing happening today, by the way. So not one single share traded, which again, it's just weird. It's just weird. You traded 87 million shares yesterday, and not one single share traded today. I don't want no part of that. I don't know what's going on with that. It smells fishy there, guys. PLTR, Cisco. We looked at already. PLTR, we have Cisco. We could put Cisco as a secondary because I know people like that one. We'll take a second look at it, see if it gets any better. The thing with Cisco, you got to wait for the market open. Pre-market, you're not going to be able to do a whole lot on it. It is up right now, 2.3. Market open is going to decide, if this thing is going to get the volume and if it's going to trade well. Today up only 2.3 right now, giving some back in the pre-market
Cisco?
already.
Cisco is doing samples again.
Samples of what?
I think this person. I think you're unless that's a joke. Cisco's a telecommunications company. It's not
routers
Cisco.
and all this
It's
other
not. Yeah,
networking.
it's not Cisco or it's not Costco either. Yeah. Okay. I was really confused because there's also Cisco, the SYSCO. I think that food distribution and stuff.
Oh yeah. I forget how the ticker is, but yeah, that's the other Cisco stuff. Yep. All right, guys, let's stop here. Let's see over on YouTube.
Thank you, Lee W.
What do you guys like over there this morning? Roblox we have on deck that is on there. Apple's not doing a whole lot today. It's pretty quiet right now, so we'll give it a second. It's just moving with the SPY at the moment, but volume-wise and everything, I don't see anything explosive. Can we watch it? Yes, Apple's an amazing stock to watch if we don't have nothing else. Kind of see where the market is moving, and it's a good pulse to see how the tech is moving, right? So we can keep an eye on that. Then we have Viacom is good. Oh, Viacom is now Para. Okay, thank you for that. So Viacom is
Has it
now.
already changed?
I knew there was a name change happening.
Bontu Trader. The other Cisco, the musician. Of course, we can't forget about him with the thong song, right?
Yes, of course. How can you? We can't forget about him. So Para is now, so that makes sense. You got some volume here, 53,000. I'm not going to trade this now anyway. This is probably going to be funky today. I'm going to keep it off my list, guys. I'm not desperate to trade something that's going through some changes right now. We'll wait to see what happens. VTNR, 1 million shares traded, but look how this is trading. This is just horrible pre-market activity. The daily's pretty bad. I don't like this at all, guys. I mean, I don't know if you do, but I really do not. I'd rather have less stuff on my list than to put that on there. I don't like that one bit. AMT, no, not explosive today. Nothing going on. They've done some stuff in the past, but right now they're pretty quiet. All right, guys, I think we're going to stop here. I think we're pretty much set. Let's go to announcements. I mean, guys, there's definitely a lot of shady stuff out here today, but there's some good ones. We got Nvidia, we got PLTR. Even FSLY today might be okay. We'll see. How we continue with this list here. All right, Norm, let's take it over to community events and announcement for the rest of the weekend next.
All right, guys. So next week on Tuesday, 5 p.m. Eastern, regardless of the situation in Ukraine, we will have our Russian legend Eamon talking about trading breakouts. That'll be 5 p.m. on Tuesday. And then on Wednesday, we will have Kreda, and she'll be at 5 p.m. as well, taking the pain out of trading, assessing impact, fear of trading or taking a trade or holding a trade. So that should be interesting. Today is Mentorship Thursday. You've got Andrew, 11 a.m., Ed, 4:30 p.m., and since it's earnings season, he'll be starting about 4 o'clock in here. And then Thursday, 8 p.m. this evening. If you haven't checked it out, be sure to go to stocktradingsimulator.com. You can try our free web-based replay simulator, and you can also sign up for homework assignments down at the bottom right. We don't sell that list. We don't spam it. You just get a couple of homework assignments a week. And also, if you're watching on YouTube, haven't been in the room, but you'd like to give it a shot, go to bearbulltraders.com. New slide, Carlos. Go to bearbulltraders.com. Scroll down about halfway down the page. You'll see that test drive now button. Click that. Use the promo code premarket24 when you sign up. It'll get you a discount, $24 for 1 week, 7 calendar days, 5 trading days, and it only charges you one time. It is not a recurring payment situation. If you'd like to become an elite member and get access to all of the material that we have, all the webinars and such, use Lovers 50 to get half off the elite annual membership.
All right, thank you so much, Norm. I appreciate that.
I hope Eamon isn't sanctioned next week.
Yeah, seriously.
But we'll see. He is an oligarch.
Oh man, we'll see. Hopefully, all will be okay. All right, guys. Let's get a thumbs up over on YouTube, guys. Appreciate it very much. Sitting at 141 likes. Appreciate your support. If you could help us get to 250, 300, we'll be happy campers over here. All right, let's get to it, guys. Our list, not a blockbuster list today. Not looking great. I am hoping this will develop and get better as we move forward. We have FSLY right here, down nicely at 28%. We'll see. It usually doesn't trade very well, but today could be a difference maker. I like the volume. I like the movement in the pre-market. PLTR, and a lot of these guys, all just so you know, if you missed it earlier today, all earnings, right? Earnings last night, Nvidia earnings last night, Roblox as well. And no, hold on. No. Hold on. I did this wrong. FSOY. Yeah, FSOY earnings last night, PLTR earnings this morning, Nvidia earnings last night. So a lot of earnings play stuff here. And Roblox, I don't think it was, no, Roblox was 2 days ago.
A
The
couple
15th.
days ago, yeah.
Yeah, but they got some good movement here as well. I mean, they got crushed on their earnings, obviously, and then we have Apple's just here just to be there. So we'll see where this goes. Good volume on all of these right now. Good pre-market activity. We'll do levels for these, and then we'll see what else pops up. In our secondary list, we have UPST, which again was big yesterday. Possible continuation. We have Dash. We have Walmart here, which is not an easy one to trade. AMPL, which is gapping down. I have no, doesn't look good. And then we have Cisco, Crisco, whatever, Cisco, the music, whatever you want to have, call this one. That is on there as well. All right. Let's take a look here. Let's start at FSOY. We'll do some levels. High of the pre-market right now, guys. We're looking at 21.45. We'll slam a level there. Towards the bottom, 19.50 is your low of your pre-market. So let's see. Towards the top, the closest thing to that level is going to be 23.48, at least in most recent time here. Moving over to the left, are we all-time lows in this thing? Man, look at this. Look at this chart on FSOY. Look at this. No, we're not. I see some stuff even lower. We're trading at 90, 70, 60, and we're now all the way down to 20 bucks, man. Wow. Ouch. All right, so down here we do have obviously 10, but let's get some realistic levels based on where the price action is now. 17, 18, it looks really good right here, guys. So I'm gonna mark that down. You got a nice area here, support that you're getting there. Look at the ping pong action between 1947, which is your low of your pre-market now. You're seeing that action there between these two levels. So we'll see where this goes. A good activity today. Looking forward to it. Looking forward to getting a good opportunity on this one. All right, PLTR on the list today, and today hopefully will be the day where it trades decent for us. Right now, great volume. Let's see how it looks as far as daily levels. We have this 1178 down here, which is pretty good. But right where the price action is now, I think this is worth marking down as well, right? It's around 1250 or so. We do have a couple of days opening, closing right around that area. So I am going to mark that down. Our low of our pre-market is a little bit higher at actually exactly $12. So we'll throw a level there as well. Now towards the top, you have a lot of congestion up here. Highs and lows from the last 2 trading days. You can see the consolidation has been happening here, creating these levels. So you're all set there. I don't think you need to add anything more. If you want to get fancy, 13 is an area that you see a lot of days opening, closing, using that as some kind of support and resistance. It's a whole dollar number as well. I think that could be a good thing to have on there. Outside of that, I think you're all set on this thing. So 8.4, it's not trading all great, right? You had the nice initial drop, nice little pop here, and then just kind of moving sideways right now. Let's see where this goes. Guys, this one can move quite a bit. Do not need to take a boatload of shares. Make your money on the move there, not on unloading the boat. So very careful on that. Nvidia earnings last night, 262.31, high of the pre-market, the low of the pre-market. I think it's pretty much this low from yesterday. So I'm not going to go crazy marking too many levels. I like this low here. I think we're fine there. And if you zoom out on the daily, I don't think you need to go crazy adding anything else unless you start breaking out of this area here, which I hope is what it does, right? I would love to see a breakout here and not hanging out where all this congestion is already, right? I would love a breakout on Nvidia. So we'll have to see. Let's see how this goes here. If it does break out, we can put some levels later down up there. Here's Roblox. Good pre-market activity, and we usually don't say that often for Roblox. And actually, their spread right now is actually pretty decent. So we'll see. I mean, there's some stocks that they get to a different target price trading level, and they trade better. I know up here they were horrible. You know, around the 100s, their spread was insane. Obviously, yesterday very high volume, 94 million compared to like their 30 whatever they do here, right? So you have a huge increase in volume. A lot of eyes on this one today, 1.4 million. Let's get some levels in here. So towards the top, highs and lows from the last 2 trading days. We have a pre-market here setting up at around 55. So we'll do that there, 55.10 to be exact. And then above that, you got some good highs and lows from the last 2 trading days here. You got some here as well and right over here. So again, I wouldn't add anything else to this. I think you're pretty much set when it comes to that. Now towards the bottom, how low has this thing been? What's the lowest this thing has been here? And when did the IPO? Let's get rid of that. Hold on. Let's go here. I think we're below there. Oh yeah, we're creating new all-time lows here, guys. So that makes it even more interesting because this is the IPO price right over here. Why does this thing keep changing? I gotta change the setting. Right over here. This is the IPO right over here. So not well, but we're quite below that, as you can see here. So no levels towards the bottom there. You're hitting all-time lows right now. And yeah, you broke this low here. The most recent low was this one here. You're slightly below that. So interesting stuff on Roblox. Here is Apple this morning. Again, it's just kind of moving sideways. Not a whole lot to see at the moment. High of the pre-market 172.19. And I'm not going to add anything else in here, guys. I think you're set there. You can add the low as well, 170.90. And there you can have it. Tons of stuff happening here. Just consolidating, moving sideways. We have some real good. And this is why Apple hasn't been as great as Nvidia. If you look at the daily, Apple just moved up here, just kind of moving sideways, dropping a little bit here with the market. And when it does that, obviously everything trades well. But then outside of that, we're not doing a whole lot right now. Just kind of waiting for the next breakout of this area here, which I'm sure will be fun to watch, and we'll be ready for that as well. So, all right, that's our list so far. Taking a quick glance of our moderators lineup, see if there's anything that
war is off now.
Looking at. War's off. All right, so spy popping. There we go. There it is.
We're gonna change in the next 5 minutes.
There you go. We're going green. We might go green in a second here. So there it is, guys. That is our list so far this morning. Again, not great, but not horrible. Not horrible. All right, let's take a look at our moderators lineup. I'm gonna go ahead and freeze the take off the video so you don't get the mirror effect, and then we're going to bring over our moderators list. We got a couple for now. We'll wait for the rest to come through a little bit later. So at the moment we have potential shorts. Aim is looking at OSTK and Zoom, or Z. Is that Zoom? Yeah, I think that's Zoom. Yeah, because Z is Zillow. Yes, so that's Zoom. Thor is looking at SPY, PLTR, Cisco, Roku, and Walmart. Secondary list, I think that's Harley Davidson, I believe, Nvidia, and Roblox.
No, Halliburton.
Halliburton. Okay, there we go. And then Susan is looking at Nvidia, Roblox, Apple, AMD, and the overall SPY there. The market secondary list, FSLY and PLTR. Dima looking at Apple, Roblox, FSLY, and Walmart. And Peter just wants back, no IPOs for today. And his list, AMD, PLTR, FSLY, Nvidia, Roblox, and Walmart. So again, we are all pretty much watching, besides Eamon, because Eamon trades a little bit different, and his watch list, his criteria for watches are slightly different than everybody else's, which is okay. There's a very similar dance happening here. We're watching very similar tickers this morning. It's not a lot to choose from, guys. There's definitely not a lot to choose from.
But what we have isn't bad.
Right, exactly.
We've got some good tickers. Like sometimes there's just a ton of trash.
Yeah, exactly.
We've got not a ton of them, but they're pretty good.
Yeah, we got some of these ones. I'm just, when I have Roblox and PLTR, I'm just hoping that we're gonna get something good, because these two, they can be brutal at times. So we'll see. All right, I think we are good to go, guys. We're done pretty early, which is nice. This is better than actually. Like Norm, me and you know this, right? We've done this so many times, having a huge list and we're digging through stuff, right? I prefer this. I mean, it's easier to have this for sure. So we are all set, guys. Let's see here. All right, we can get some questions. We can get some conversations. So, we can,
Petros is asking, what are differences between watch list your first and second list? So I'll let you get into that because you're the one that
Yep, absolutely, guys. So we have 3 lists here. We don't have any low flow stock here. So the first list is going to be our main list, right? So anything that I'm going to watch. And if you guys saw my screen yesterday, I usually watch about 6 tickers is what I can watch comfortably with my setup. So this is my main list. These are our possibles, right? These are tickers that, they're okay. They can be great, but at the moment they're not beating my main list, right? This is what I like. And sometimes the main list, guys, there could be a ticker here that could be better, but based on my criteria, for example, Nvidia, I know it's been trading well, right? There might be a ticker down here for, let's say, Walmart, just for the heck of it, that looks better at the moment. But I know Nvidia's been trading very well. I know I can personally trade them better. That's going to be on my main list, but I'll have that as a possible. As the market goes on and things open up, Nvidia might crap out and not do anything, be very choppy and go sideways. I'll look at my possibles list and see what I can move up, right? So I just have it there ready in case any of these are not doing well. But for the most part, at that bell, that market open, this is what I'm going to be looking at, this main list, right? Your main list could look slightly different. You can be picky and filter things out as you want. And we don't have any today, but here's our risky pile. And down in our risky pile, we'll put any low flow stocks or stocks that are not low flow, anything that has very high volatility that you need to be extra careful with, right? They could be in play, but you got to be very, very careful with, right? So that's what I'll have down there. Normally, the stuff in my risky pile does not go on my screens. I usually don't have the low flows up when I'm trading. We haven't seen, speaking of low flows, Norm, we have not seen, I don't know about you, a good low flow in a while.
Not that they're not out there. I just, a lot of times it seems a lot of times the low floats come in play, or I'll look at them when we've had earnings season. It's been an excellent earnings season to trade.
That's what it is.
We've had really good, mid floats, larger floats trading well since the beginning of the year. So it's just haven't really had to dig into the bullpen for those.
Yeah.
Let's go to get a couple more questions in.
Yeah, we have time. Absolutely.
So thank you for that one. I can answer this one in a couple of words here. Strictest rule you follow in trading, Imagine RX over on YouTube. Not averaging down. Not adding to a losing trade in order to try to bring your average down to break even on it or something of that nature. I will, if it's part of the strategy to begin with, I might scale into a position. Like if I say I want 500 shares of whatever, I might take 100 and then add 200 because I feel like a bottom's going to be somewhere in there. But I don't know exactly where. But your loss is when you play that strategy, your loss is still in your mind, and you're not adding into something simply for the unplanned, simply for the point of it trying to break even or whatever.
Yep.
Good pre-market volume on YouTube. That one is relative. You can have a ticker with 100,000 shares traded, and it looks like awesome volume. You can have one with 1 million shares traded, and it's garbage. There's really more. There's not an absolute number that goes into that. You need steady order flow going through it on a continual basis.
Yeah. This one here about how do we link you're talking about the levels, right? When you put levels here, they link on all the charts. There's a setting, and I don't know where it is.
Global.
This config area. There's a setting, config area or global something, global trend lines. Oh, study config.
Study config. I think it's global.
Study config and you do this once, you set it and forget it. But there's a way to do this. There's a setting.
It's in regular config. So go
config.
Yeah.
Save trend lines. Double click trend lines.
Anyway, it's in there. Just look for global trend lines.
Yeah, you can go to our forum and find. Oh, here it is. I found it. There it is. Okay, so let's just go back.
Yeah.
You come over here to config, regular config, and then right at the bottom, right click on the chart, config. Thank you, Norm. And right at the bottom right here, you want to make sure these two are checked off, right? And what happens here when you do that in any chart you put it in, it's gonna show it and it's gonna save it as well, right? So you can take care of that there. So many features this thing has, man. It's so powerful, so powerful.
Indigenous Pathways is asking, you find in this type of bearish market, your stop loss strategy is different than a bull market? No, it's exactly the same.
Same. Just different direction, really.
Can you see order flow where? Yes, that's in level 2, time and sales. Generally, time and sales, steady flow. good size orders going through.
Yep.
Time and sales.
Bottom left. Yeah, thank you guys. Yep, thank you for that. Cool. We got a couple of more minutes. We'll wait for more moderators to throw out their lists, but we definitely got time as we wait for 9:15 here.
Alan's asking what's the best place for hotkey scripts? Probably the forums here at BBT. I would imagine we have more than anybody else. I know with Kyle is part of the team. We got the powerhouse behind scripts. There's nobody better than him.
Absolutely. And guys, for those new traders over in our community, there are two things we want to announce. John, today, actually, today's Thursday. John, today at 2 p.m. is doing a Ask Anything webinar.
1 p.m. I believe it's 1 p.m.
No, I think he moved to the 2. You know what? Let's wait for John to confirm.
It might. Well, we'll see. But it's going to be back to 1 after today.
Oh, okay. So
because of the second announcement, it's at 1 or 2 today. It's the Q&A for new traders.
Yes.
And then happy to announce Megan is going to have more mic time. She's going to be coming on with Brian after Andrew hops off before that 11 a.m. time period. And speaking of Thursdays at 2 p.m., she's going to be in that 2 to 3 time slot on Thursdays. So.
Oh, okay. So that's happening, and John will probably do his at 1.
It's always been at 1. I know we talked about changing it. I don't know if that ever got changed, but
so that's going to be in the classroom, guys. And this is for specifically if you want to ask any questions that are, more on the newer side that you probably don't want to ask here in the chat because, it's a lot going on there. That is the best place to ask that. There's no simple question. You don't know what you don't know. So go in there and ask, and John's going to give you some good feedback, right? So take advantage of that. All right, what else? I saw some other questions here. We got 3 more minutes. Do I have a bias on the day? No, I don't have. I try not to have a bias, man. I mean, if something looks weak, it looks weak. If it looks strong, it looks strong. But at the end of the day, when I'm taking that trade, I try to keep that. I try not to have a bias to the point where I'm looking at a trade and I'm looking for a long or a short. Now, would I look at something, for example, Apple, right? No, it's not Apple. Nvidia. Would I look at this and say, man, I would like Nvidia to break out here. I don't want Nvidia to go down where this congested area is because the breakout is going to give you more opportunity. You have it's more clean room up here to run. Here, you got to go to some levels. It's going to might be a lot of
except for running action right into the 50 daily on it. But other than that,
well, yeah, of course, we need to Now, I would love to look for that. It's like Space yesterday, guys. You guys remember Space? Not yesterday, before. What we said, we wanted this to go above 913. Right, it's going to be more of a shot for dust that was squeezed. It broke out nicely. Hopefully, you took advantage of that. But am I sitting there stabbing at it to go long? No, I'm not going to do that. So be careful with the bias.
Quick one that I just saw. Pegasus asked, "Do you have a maximum number of trades per day?" I don't know about you. I don't. That's more of a training wheels kind of thing. Mm-hmm. I advisable to somebody newer. But if I see a trade and it's worth taking, I'll take it. Just because I had 3 trades earlier in the day or 7 or 15 doesn't matter.
Yep.
But over trading can be real, even for experienced traders. But you have after time, you get the ability to, I think, to be able to avoid going on tilt so much. If you've survived long enough, then you can, yes. If you don't figure that out at some point, you're not going to survive at all. So,
yeah.
Do I do that for losing trades as well? What, limit my number? Isaac? No, I don't have a hard number. I don't win, lose, draw, whatever. No, I don't have a hard number. I know if I'm having a good day or a bad day.
Yeah.
I'll walk
and the
away.
Number of trades, to be honest, sometimes it can be a little deceiving because you can have a really good day, had tons of trades, or a really bad day, had only 2 trades. So, the number of trades is. I
agree 100%. I've had huge red days with like 1 trade.
Right.
I just was boneheaded and stubborn. Maybe I averaged down.
Yeah.
And then I've had great days where I, do very well, and I might have 50 trades in there.
Right. So, which were all good because your setup came up and you did what you had to do. You took the trade because your setup came up, right? So is that over trading? No. You're doing your trading, right? So we can do a whole webinar on that, guys, but it's a lot of good information on there. Guys, over on YouTube, please hit that thumbs up. We appreciate it very much. We're sitting at 226 likes. We'd love to be above 250. Quick recap, guys. Here is our moderators lineup as we wrap it up here. All the way down to Tiffany now because we missed her. Nvidia, FSLY, Dash, and Megan, Walmart, Piton, and American Airlines. So, guys, that is our list for today. My list is FSLY, PLTR, Nvidia, Roblox on here, and also Apple. And have an amazing trading day, guys. We will see you tomorrow. Again, tonight, all the webinars coming up, mentorship. Make sure you look at the calendar for times and schedules. So take care, guys, and trade safe.
Take care, guys. Trade safe. Have a great day.